Why the 40mm field of view? Why would you want to shoot a 40mm lens? And why we don't have so many options on different systems of 40mm lenses, of great lenses? And I will tell you immediately what a 40mm great lens means for me. So let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. I will get into the subject because I think it's important to address what is a great 40mm lens depending on situation and from shooter to shooter and depending on the system. But I will address what makes a great 40mm lens. For me, again, for my personal use. So, I'm using 40mm lenses from at least 2019. I've started with a great 40mm equivalent lens. The 20mm f1.7 lens from Lumix. I've made several reviews why I'm loving that lens. And that lens, this lens, it's a great lens. I've started it with a great lens. I didn't know I started it with a great lens at that time. I thought, well, micro four thirds, great minimum to focus distance, great aperture, okayish AF, great image quality, small, portable. So this is what a great 40mm lens is for me. So a 40mm great lens must have great AF, not manual focus lens. I'm okay with a manual focus lens, but I want to use it every day. I have two small kids, so I have a lot of work. I don't have time to manual focus lenses. So it must have AF. It must have a great aperture. Why? Because I don't want to change lenses when it's low light, and I don't want another field of view, because in 90% of the time you'll not find another great lens with the same field of view with a better aperture. But yes, you'll be able to find that lens on a micro four thirds system. And probably you'll say to me that I can find Viltrox 27mm f1.2 lens on Fujifilm. Yes, you can find it. It's an f1.2 lens. But I will not do my everyday carry kit with this f2.8 to shoot it by day and carry the 27mm f1.2 even if I like so much the 40mm field of view. It is absurd. That lens is a specific lens for a specific job. If you are feeling that you must take that lens in your specific job. This lens, the Viltrox 27mm f1.2 lens, is dedicated to working photographers, not for an everyday type of shooting. The next great lens, it's the 40mm f2.5 lens on Sony full frame and Voigtlander 40mm f1.2 lens. I do agree, great lenses, great image quality, but it's not just about the lens. For me, I don't shoot just with the lens. I must also use a camera. And I have specific needs at cameras. I want at least APS-C. I want a flip screen. I don't want a tilt screen. And I want a portable camera. So in Sony system, there is Sony A7C. I have it. It has a flip screen. I'm not liking it to use it every day. And it has some weight to it. This package from Fujifilm, I'm really liking it. It's great to use. But I have an f2.8. So flip screen, great APS-C sensor, great AF, but the lens, it's not at least at the level of the 20mm f1.7. It's not. It's under. So, where is the solution? Well, I found my solution. I'll show you immediately. And by the way, I have a special newsletter dedicated to the passionate photographers. So if you want to learn more about photography tips, tricks, and all kinds of useful information for free, please subscribe to my newsletter, link in the comments and description. Ta-da! This is my solution. The Sony APS-C A6400 and the 28mm f2 lens. This combo is meeting all my requirements. I have a flip screen, I have a small light body, easy to carry, I have a 28mm f2 adapted to APS-C, so this will give me the 42mm field of view. It's okay, I've used it and it's perfect. It's perfect for me. Great AF, great aperture, metal build, weather sealed. Everyday carry with you. It's as light in the hand as an X100V with the thumb grip and with the lens hood, all built in. It's as small the A6400 as an XE4. Yes, I don't have the Fujifilm simulations. Yes, this is a bummer, but it's not a problem. It's not a problem because I'm loving the 40mm field of view very much because, first of all, the 40mm field of view is great for portraits. So when you want to take documentary portraits or close-up portraits, like you are taking with a 28mm lens, or like when you are taking it with a 35mm lens, the 40mm field of view will help you get it the same. So very practical, very versatile. You can get a little better portraits because it's a 40mm field of view when you are getting it close, so better subject to background separation. But also you can get the wide looking portraits, again very interesting, but also you can get the documentary portraits, better composed because you have a tighter frame. So great for portraits and any kind of portraits you would like to make with a 35mm lens, with a 28mm lens, but also I would say with a 50mm lens, this 42. So it's ticking all this for me. I just have to get a little close. And I also have the f2 aperture. Remember, not f2.8, not f1.7 on a micro four thirds system. I have an f2 aperture on a great sensor, APS-C sensor, and it's a full frame lens. And I also feel that I'm keeping the full frame look with this lens. Another great advantage of the 40mm field of view, and again with any 40mm lens, is that you can take great, well-composed documentary shots. And it's better to take them with a 40mm lens and not with a wide 35mm lens and crop in after. I've tried on my X100V the trick with the sports finder mode. It's working, it's nice, but I don't know what I'm liking more, to have a direct equivalent 40mm lens. So I'm liking it very much for well-composed urban scenes. What I'm seeing is what I'm getting and what I'm thinking in my head. So for me it's very easy to sync a scene in my head and to compose it. I already know how I must angle the camera and how I must position myself to the scene. And this was easier for me from start with a 40mm lens. It was hard for me to sync and to learn the 35mm field of view and the 50mm field of view. Yes, you can learn any focal length, any field of view, but for me it was very natural with these 40mm equivalent lenses. So from 40 to 42 to 43 I'm okay. When I'm going to 45 I feel this is the limit, and if it's a 50 then there is a total story. But very easy to compose urban scenes, and I'm showing on the screen urban scenes composed with a 40mm field of view. I'm just seeing the scene, I'm imagining it in my head very quickly, and I know where I should be and how to position the camera, and boom, I've got the scene. Right composition, right spot. I get that joy of intellectual joy of the eye and mind and the camera when they are all going together, how Bresson said, and you've got the result. So for composing urban scene is great. Next, regarding urban scenes, there are different types of urban scenes. You have a crowded scene, but also you can have an airy scene with less people in it. What I found great about the 40mm lens compared with a 28mm lens, or compared to a 24mm lens, or compared to a 50mm lens and to a 35mm lens, this lens is working great in crowd spaces but also in spaces where there are little people. So in an airy scene where I don't have enough people on the streets, it's easier for me to compose. So this is a very versatile lens. It's working great in any kind of photography situation that you are into. Next, this lens is working great also indoors. Probably you don't want to take indoors pictures of all your home. You want portraits, but also some documentary shots, but also shots that are focused on your subject, and this will offer you a better result than a 35mm lens or than a 28mm lens. Yes, it will not work in very tight spaces. Of course, in tight spaces you will want another lens, but in general I've discovered that in a normal space, it will do the job. I don't need and don't feel the need to take another wide lens. Yes, I can take another lens and I can feel sometimes the need, but the composition indoors will be better with a 40mm lens because it will make me compose better the image. And it will not be as tight as a 50mm lens, but also not as wide as a 35 or as a 28mm lens that will gather all the mess. So, great for compositions indoors and outdoors depending on how many people are. If you have more people or less people, the lens will deliver. Another thing that I discovered regarding the use of the 40mm lenses is that you are able to compose great images even if you are going close to your subject or even if you are a little far from your subject. So this lens is also functioning as a wide lens, so you can get those wide portraits like a Q3 portraits or like a 28mm portraits. You can do it, of course, but of course you'll not be so close to your subject, but this is an advantage. You really don't want, and lots of people don't want to enter in the private space of a subject, and I do agree with this. I'm liking to take this kind of portraits with a wide shot, but this is there. It's helping you get nice shots, but it's helping you keep a normal distance. So a very, very versatile lens, a very versatile field of view. This is why I'm recommending the 40mm field of view. It is very versatile. Depending on the situation where you are, you'll be able to get the shot that you want without changing lenses, and you'll have a very, very consistent portfolio and a very, very consistent pictures. But yes, we have a problem, and the problem is that, how I showed in the starting of this video, is that you don't have many options on different systems. On the Micro Four Thirds system you have those options. On Fujifilm system you have this small pancake and the Viltrox 27mm f1.2, but this is the only go-to lens for an everyday shooting, because this is where I see the purpose of a 40mm lens. I will not use a 40mm lens for wedding photography, for even photography. Yes, I can use it, but why not use better specialized lenses to get a more popping effect? So again, this is a documentary lens. For this I would use this lens as an everyday carry. We also have the Ricoh GR, a great lens, a great camera with problems regarding the AF in low light, and also with an f2.8, where the f2.8 on APS-C with that AF and with other systems aren't delivering those lenses. But this is my go-to lens. Yes, because it's an f2, it has AF, I have a tilt screen, and I'm ready to shoot. If Sony will release an A7C with a tilt screen, then I will look at the Sony 40mm f2.5. And for hobby and fun, I will look at the Voigtlander 40mm f1.2, but it's a f1.2 lens. I really don't need to shoot at f1.2 very often. I'm liking the documentary style of this lens especially, and I'm liking it that I can do some portraits when I feel that I want a portrait, and when I feel that I found a character, and when I feel I want that. But in general, this is a lens that is helping me do any kind of photography. Yes, I will not do architectural photography with this lens. I will not be able to do it because I want especially a wide lens. But for travel photography, regarding landscape photography, I'm also liking this field of view. So the only downside of this field of view, I feel, it's architectural photography. There I want at least 35mm, 28mm, or even 24 or even wider, and so on. But this is another story. But for the majority of documentary shots, of portraits, documentary portraits, close-up portraits, and all kinds of details that I've listed out, the 40mm lens is shining. And this is why I advise try a 40mm 40 to 40C maximum lens and see the results that you'll get. I feel that you'll love it more than a 35 or than a 50mm lens, depending on your style. Of course, it's a subjective feeling, but try it and see if the 40mm field of view is ticking with you. For me, this is the go-to dream package, because this, I feel, it's the upgraded GX9 package. Yes, the GX9 is great and it has many more options, but it has an old Micro Four Thirds sensor not updated yet, and this is an old lens not updated yet, because this is it with Micro Four Thirds. So this is why I'm really liking this package now very much, and I'm totally recommending it if you want a 40mm equivalent camera with a tilt screen, weather sealed, dust sealed. This is the package to go. Now please check my links in the comments and description. You'll find my newsletter and links to the gear that I'm using. Support my channel. Use the links if you want to buy something for you from the gear and software that I'm using. Also, subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to my channel, share my video and leave me your comments. Now please check the next video. Click here now.